Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're re-diving into something completely different, a story that has more than just words on a page. It's an experience. The Shadow in the Mirror is a haunting psychological horror narrative that grips you from the first sentence and never lets go. It starts with that perfect opening line, that chilling atmosphere of a night, quieter than death itself. And from there, it draws you into a world that feels both familiar and terrifying. The story centers around Alina, a young woman who dares to defy her grandmother's warnings and looks into a cracked dressing mirror after midnight. What seems like a simple act of curiosity turns into a descent into madness and supernatural dread. Right from the start, the writing pulls you into an atmosphere that feels alive, thick with tension, whispering shadows, and slow, creeping dread. It doesn't rely on cheap scares. Instead, it builds a world where even silence feels dangerous, where the air itself seems to breathe. One of the most remarkable features of this story is its pacing. It unfolds like a slow heartbeat, steady, deliberate, then racing as the terror builds. There's no rush, no cutaway from the tension. Each sentence feels like a step deeper into the nightmare, and the one-paragraph format adds a claustrophobic rhythm, making you feel as trapped as Alina herself. This stylistic choice is one of the strongest design elements. It doesn't give you room to breathe. There's no paragraph break to step back and think. You're forced to stay in the moment, just as she is. The lack of breaks mirrors the suffocating atmosphere of the story, and that's brilliant storytelling craft. The performance of the process, we treat the words as a kind of performance, is incredibly cinematic. Every image is visual, from the candle's dying flame to the mirror's faint shimmer, and you can almost hear the whispering voice behind your ear. The writer plays with sensory detail, making sound, light, and movement feel tangible. You can feel the candlelight tremble, the air turn thick, and the reflections smile widen just a fraction too far. From a design standpoint, the story uses contrast beautifully. The soft, almost cozy domestic sitting, the old mirror, the quiet house, the routine of brushing hair sits right next to moments of raw terror. This balance between comfort and fear amplifies the horror because it makes everything believable. The reader can imagine sitting in that same room, hearing that same creak, seeing that same flicker of movement that shouldn't be there. The story doesn't rely on gore or violence. Instead, it's psychological, feeding on fear of the familiar. The idea of your own reflection turning against you is primal, something every reader instinctively understands. The mirror becomes a symbol of memory, and deceit, it remembers her instead of reflecting her, which is one of the most chilling and unique ideas in the piece. It's not just a haunted object. It's a living, watching thing. Another performance aspect worth noting is the dialogue, or rather, the lack of it. There are very few spoken words, and when they appear, te-hita. The moment when the reflection whispers, "Do you want to see what I see?" is not just a linette, a trigger point. It's when the psychological breaks open into the supernatural. The voice design in this story is something that would translate beautifully into video or audio. You could imagine the whisper echoing in surround sound, the silence after it's stretching unbearably. That's where the writing excels. It's written to be heard, not read. The story constantly shifts between what's real and what's reflection. You never quite know whether Alina is imagining things or if something inside the mirror has truly come alive. The moment her reflection blinks before she does is such a small detail, but it's one of the most unsettling beats in the entire narrative. It's the type of moment that works because it's understated. The horror comes from recognition, from the idea that something so ordinary, so everyday, suddenly stops following the rules. If we talk about the technical construction, the writing maintains a perfect balance of descriptive and emotional pacing. It never overloads you with adjectives, but uses a rhythm to build atmosphere. Sentences stretch and then contract, mirroring Alina's breathing as her fear grows. The choice of language, soft, whispering, almost poetic, contrasts with the brutal simplicity of the terror. Every sensory kutha, hiss of the candle, the reflections smile, the sound of breathing from inside the glassworks, like layers of sound design in a film. You can almost feel the pulse of the story, like a score building under the words. This would make for an incredible short film or horror animation because it's written in scenes. The story isn't just told, it's staged. You can see the shot composition in your mind. The close-up of the mirror, the reflection lagging half a second, the candle going out. It's all there visually. In terms of performance for a video review or analysis, what makes the shadow in the mirror stand out is its emotional control. It's not random. Fear, it's grief, curiosity, arrogance, and punishment woven together. Alina as defiance of a grandmother S, warning ISNT. Just plot device it. As a reflection of how human beings treat old fears as myths, until they face with them. The mirror is not just an object. It's a metaphor for the stories we inherit and the things we choose to forget. The writing captures that emotional duality. Alina's bravery feels real, her terror even more so. When she's pulled toward the glass, we feel her resistance, the drag of unseen hands, and the moment when she realizes she is no longer fighting to survive, but to wake up from a nightmare. That ISNT ending. The visual design of the story, if translated into video, would thrive on contrast, warm candlelight against deep shadow, soft focus shots that slowly turn sharp, reflections slightly delayed to create subconscious unease. The soundscape would play an equal role. Muffled breathing, faint tapping from inside the mirror, a whisper that's almost inaudible. The story's greatest technical achievement is how it keeps the reader both grounded and disoriented. You always know where you are, but you never know what's real. The moment the mirror stops reflecting Alina entirely is it flips the rules of the world. For a few seconds, even the reader doesn't know if Alina exists anymore. That's an incredibly sophisticated manipulation of perspective, and it gives the narrative its final, lingering chill. What also deserves praise is the emotional aftermath. The morning scene, the discovery of the empty room, the phone still recording, the reflection calmly brushing its hair. That's pure psychological horror. It's understated yet devastating. It suggests that the evil wasn't loud, it was patient. The fact that the reflection continues to perform Alina Eslasak brushing her hair transforms it into something symbolic. The mirror has claimed her identity, its imitation replacing existence. For video creators or visual storytellers, this is a scene that begs to be dramatized with quiet tension. No music, just the sound of bristles moving through hair. The unique selling point of this story is how it redefines the haunted mirror trope. Instead of being about vanity or punishment, it becomes about connection, two sides of one soul trying to switch places. It's an exploration of identity and perception, built within a horror framework. It's intimate, claustrophobic, and deeply human. You're not afraid of a monster. You're afraid of yourself, of seeing too deeply, of what might be staring back from the other side. The shadow in the mirror isn't just a horror story. It's a reflection of how fear itself watches us, yearns from us, and waits patiently for the moment we look too long.